we want to subsidize housing to make it affordable, and then people can transact on the resale market so that they can, after that, find their own housing choices along the way. In the early days, this leg up was important for low-income households. In the earlier years, right, you make some money out of it, and then you can upgrade, and it's a sense of, well, okay, it's a stake in the country, I get something from housing, I can go to a bigger home, I get some money to renovate, buy a bigger place. With education and income levels much higher than it was ever before in the past, a lot of people generate their wealth and their sense of financial stability not necessarily from property transactions or property transactions alone, but increasingly just from higher incomes. All right, from higher incomes, whatever that may be. All right, whether you're kind of a gig worker, consultant type, or whether you're working in a firm or you're an entrepreneur, the education, the skill sets, your ability to command a much higher income than our grandparents did, that is now the main source of an ordinary person's, what they call leg up. The idea for the earlier generations that my HDB flat is a home and an asset. If you go for house visit and you meet some of the seniors in the 3-room flats, 4-room flats, older flats built in the 80s, 70s, some of them are still the first owner, you know that? And they're very proud. They say, my house, I bought it 50,000, now is worth 400,000, 500,000. But they're not moving, you know. I'm just very proud, it's grown in value. And they are also renovating my toilet and making it improving. But there's a difference between that sense of, well, my value of my home has gone up. It's, my net value has gone up. I'm not cashing in. Some, of course, do, and then they buy a bigger home, and then they make that their home. But some are concerned that it is becoming, for some people, a commodity, not an asset that you grow and you feel, wow, my stake has grown, my net value has grown. I'm not going to cash out. But it is, for some people, they're unhappy because other people are commoditizing what is a state-funded social good. And that is why when we did the prime location housing, the locations we're building PLH are not places that there have never been HDB flats before. Like Rocho, next to it, very old flats. When I go for my peers network walks, I go to those areas, right, with the befrienders who walk the streets. They're in the city. They're flats in the center of town too, but much older flats. And if I may speak with respect, older Singaporeans who may be from a lower income background. They never sold off their prime location flats built in the 70s and 80s. But if they were ever to move out, whether it is because of SIRS or because of VERS, or they move out and we redevelop, you build a new HDB flat there, who do you think will buy and who will you think will eventually live in it over the course of the 99 years? I would dare say it will be better off Singaporeans. It'll be better off Singaporeans who see, wow, not just asset but commodity after 5 years. A higher proportion may want to flip after 5 years. But the question is, if you extend the MOP further, let's be fair to families too. You have more needs. You need to move to your children's school. You need to accommodate your elderly parents. Your family needs may grow, and 5 years plus the 3 to 5 year construction period, maybe shorter, maybe longer, it's a long time to insist that somebody stays put. So we have to strike a balance, right? But do we then give in to those who say, then don't even build HDB in all these places? Then, as I said earlier in response to Alistair, there'll be a lot of places we will not build because people feel that we shouldn't let others game the system. Now, gaming the system, so-called, which there's some opprobrium about, it is not unheard of, it's not insignificant, but I would dare say not the majority of people. It's the majority who are upset at the behavior of some. But how we tackle this is the subject matter of policy that is responsive to societal changes. So PLH is one effort. Do we need to do more? I think so. How? Let's study this very carefully because it may mean more and more intrusive rules that may not always be welcome.